Hi, my name is Kyle. I've made multiple six figures for my clients and personally contracted over $30,000 last month in revenue. As you can see on screen now, there's a bunch of proof as well of me getting great results for people, video testimonials and all the sorts there as well. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through why AI isn't actually going to be the one thing that's going to lead you to explode your business. Obviously, it's a great tool. I'm going to explain a couple of its use cases here as well, where it can be very, very helpful. But at the end of the day, my main belief is that all that matters now is making the right decisions. And the way I like to think through things now when I'm working with my clients and any business I start to work with is I ask the founder, the owner of the business, what are we actually doing this for? What are we trying to achieve? What is the outcome that we're actually going after? Because I think that's so important. Now I have some clients where we're trying to do 1 million a month. I have others where it's just 50K. And the main difference between them is their goals, the reasons why behind their goals and what's driving them towards that. Now in both of these business, automation and AI is huge. Obviously it's used throughout in loads of places, but the main reasons that they are able to grow to these levels, right now, this one's at around 100K a month and this one's around like 25K a month. So these are their goals and they use automation and AI a lot. But what's going to get them to where they want to get to isn't actually more of automation and AI. Yeah, that can help with profit margins. Yes, that can help scale things to a very high level. But to be able to decide what needs to be cut, what should be invested into, what direction should we go into, is the actual person who's leading the business. So the leader is the main person who makes the decision on obviously where the business should be going. Now in this day and age, for example, let's say these guys, they're both coaches, all right? They teach people and sell information, sell education in this space, and that means you can't really automate the fulfillment. Yes, you can make AI chatbots, which I've built before, but that's only, it's much better in service-based businesses because people who are paying for education, they want things like videos, they want things like one-to-one support, they want group support, so they can actually know that the actions they are implementing, they're getting feedback on, because information is very abundant in this day and age, right? There's so many YouTube videos you can watch where they're giving out a lot of great value. So everyone has the information. They now just want to make sure that they're making the right decisions in their specific use case and their specific situation. So the coaches, they can't really automate fulfillment too much. Also, a lot of them run ads. Now in there, you can automate the creation of creative, you can design creative, but the strategy behind it, you can't really automate that. You don't actually, you need to understand what is the reason for this ad. Why are we showing this creative? So it's the thought process behind the decisions you're making. That's what's most important. And furthermore, because they're both running ads, the main things they're doing, again, which I talk about a lot, is risk. AI can't take risk. And risk, when you do take risk, needs to have someone who's accountable. So if you take on more accountability for things, you're taking on more risk. But that also means there's a higher likelihood that you grow, because I feel like these are synonymous. So in terms of that, the level of risk you take is the opportunity for growth increases. It doesn't always mean you will, obviously, but the opportunity for growth increases. Like you invest in Bitcoin when it was back in the day when it was unbelievably risky compared to now. It seems like a no-brainer now, but back in the day it was so unbelievably risky, and also the opportunity for growth was so huge. Cool. And that's what venture capitalists do as well. They will invest into 100 different businesses, 99 will fail, but the one that succeeds pays off for the 99 and some. And that's their business model, but that's for another video. Risk is proportional to growth. So AI is great at helping with repeated tasks, right? Like making creative, setting up automations, building out automations, handling the automations. That is great to have in place so you can move quicker. It helps with moving quicker. But even now that you can move quicker, it just gives you time to think. And you have to decide, where is this business actually going and what direction do I want to take it in? So a lot of coaches now and like B2B companies, service companies are thinking, where is the place where I can see a 10x growth, so 10x increase? And to identify that, you have to fundamentally change your business model. For example, going from one-to-one to a group model. So that means you can speak to 10 students at once. If it's a coach, again, could be going from spending 1K a day to 10K a day. It could be literally that simple. And to make those decisions, it's you. Because if you mess up, you're at fault. So AI can't do it for you. You can say like, hey, what should I do? And it can give you ideas and things like that, which again can be helpful. But at the end of the day, you still have to go out into the world, take that action, execute on the action, look at what happened and iterate off it. And change your actions based off what you learned, based off what you saw, the feedback that you got. So that's why it's very, very important. So in a lot of businesses, I'm jumping into today now to basically help them build out their marketing and get into the goals that they want to get to. I'm fundamentally asking why. What are we trying to get to and why? Then from there, I'm asking what would it take? This basically means what resources would it take? How much time do you have to put in? What do we need to change to make sure we can get this 10x growth that we're looking for, or 10x in this or 10x in that? And the reason I say 10x is because it forces you to think different. For example, if you're looking at your ads, you'll have obviously the financial model. One of them will be CPMs, and click-through rates. Let's say click-through rate is 1%. You want to get it to 2%. That's a double, which is good, but it won't change your business overnight. It will help a lot with profit margins because it's downstream. It will mean more booked calls and more closes, that sort of stuff. But it won't fundamentally change your business overnight. The only thing that can change that is you deciding where are the opportunities. Now there's longer term plays like building a brand, and there's shorter term plays which could just be spending more. For example, 1 to 2% is great, but if we took spend from 1K a day, which is what we do on one ad set, to 10K a day, which is what we're scaling up to, that will have a way bigger impact on your business than this. Now, you shouldn't do this jump until this is sorted out. You want all the economics to make sense. Once you've got the economics to make sense and you have a stable foundation, that's when you need to pour so much fuel onto the fire so you can really grow it. For example, another perspective I like to have is team as well. If we are going from this, we're looking to grow, right? You have to realize that at that capacity, there'll be too much demand for the supply, which means we need to increase the capacity of our team. Now, the way we do that is by hiring, but you have to know who you're going to hire and what to hire for. So usually you have to look at where is the increase going to be. If it's going to be on the front end, you're going to need more salespeople, aren't you? So that could be setters, closers. Then what I like to do now in my financial model, which is basically doing the math of exactly how this funnel works, is looking at capacity. Now I'll probably break this down properly in another video, but capacity. So you look at how many hours do they work a day? How many calls can they take? And then let's say there's 5 people. So that's just a sales team. There's 5 people. Let's say they can take 5 calls a day, right? That'd be, so there's 25 calls a day that can be taken. If close rate's 20%, that means there's 5 closers. And let's say the AOV, so average order value, is 10K. That would mean revenue is 50K. So if you had 5 people and they each are taking 5 calls a day, that means there's 25 calls a day, which means per day you can make 50K. So if you continue at that run rate, over 30 days, you'd make 1.5 million. So this is the type of math that I'm doing to actually understand what it would take to get to our goals. Now at this rate, how are our ads changing? What does the fulfillment team now look like? Do we need to bring on more VAs so they can actually handle all the support requests, automations that may be breaking more often because so much more traffic is going through this? Now, all of this, again, AI can help you with once you know where you're going. It can help you move quicker. It can help set things up, but it's not going to direct your business for you. You have to know what you want from life. You have to know what you want from your business, and you have to get it there. You're just using the tools that are available and the people and the code and the media that you have at your disposal to get to this point where you're making 1.5 million a month. Or if it's not that, like not every client of mine wants to do that. They have other things they want to run, so they're just looking to get to 50K a month. Your goals are purely dependent on you. But this is the main reason why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to get into your head that AI is great, but you always have to come back to your morals, your principles, and the reason why you're doing this and where you're wanting to get it to. And that vision needs to be clear. So AI can't replace vision. Have a good rest of your day. Be generous, work hard, and take risks. Bye.